Well. We're back again. What you need in the building. This time, we're going to have an interactive session so you guys can hop on here as guests and you can actually discuss with me how historic this event of Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence is. And we're going to have a good time talking about it. Of course, I've got a lot more beard in here. You guys probably not used to seeing what you need like this, but it's all well and good. So let's go talk about this topic here. It is history in the making. If you want to join as a guest, simply click this link that you will see there. I'm on StreamYard, and you can easily this uh, join this stream as a guest, and we can chop it up. So we're going to talk a little bit about. So I'm going to leave the link right there. In addition, somewhere in the description of this stream, you should be able to see, on YouTube at least, you should be able to see that you can also donate to my channel. So the link is there in the description. All right, let's get on to how this event is historic. First of all, let's start up by saying we haven't had two prime undefeated champions in the welterweight division fighting for undisputed in a very long time. Okay, this is an extremely rare occasion. In fact, the only time that happened, if I'm not mistaken, would be Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearns. I believe it was in 1981 or 82. So you can check out and see how it's 40 something years ago. That's the first historic milestone about this fight, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Second very historic thing is that this is the first time in the welterweight division that we're going to have an undisputed champion who is a 4-belt champion. This will be the first 4-belt welterweight champion ever. Another thing that's going to be historic about this fight is that, and this is a very rare thing in boxing, two southpaws will be facing each other. Well, one is kind of like a switch hitter, but he mostly fights in southpaw. That would be Terrence Crawford. Two southpaws will be going up against each other to fight for the undisputed championship of the world. I cannot tell you when was the most recent time that ever happened. Okay. So that in and of itself is a novelty as well. Very unique thing and historic. In addition, what makes this even more historic is the fact that one of these two champions was a 4-belt undisputed champion at a lower weight class. We've not had a fight for undisputed where one of the champions that is fighting for undisputed in this unification has already been undisputed. If Terrence Crawford can beat Errol Spence and become undisputed champion of the world, he would be a two-divisional, two-time undisputed champion. And he would make history because no man, no male, female, Clarissa Shields has done it. But in terms of males, no male fighter has ever become undisputed in the 4-belt era twice. Okay? Back in the day, they used to do it with the 2-belt era. But we've never seen that in the 4-belt era. So that would be something that Terrence Crawford could make history that way. The other thing is, since Mayweather versus Pacquiao, we have not had two pound-for-pound fighters, high up the pound-for-pound list, top 5 pound-for-pound fighters face each other And on top of this, we're talking about pound for pound fighters, top five pound for pound fighters who who are fighting for undisputed. So all of these factors I just mentioned are historic. So the winner of this fight really, and even the participants of this fight, really are making history in so many different ways when they do fight. And the outcome could also be tremendously historic. Now, another historic thing is that Derek James has an undisputed champion in Jamel Charlo. If Errol Spence was to become undisputed, Derek James would have two undisputed champions that he trained from scratch. So that's another historic thing because you don't really see that happening. And this is in the 4-belt era, which is much harder to become undisputed than the 2-belt or 3-belt era. So that's another historic thing. So if Errol Spence wins, Derek James, his trainer, creates history and is probably the greatest trainer because he would have two undisputed champions. If Terrence Crawford wins, he would be a two-divisional, two-time undisputed champion, which nobody has done as men in the history of the 4-belt era, or even in the history of the 3-belt era, for that matter. That's a very rare occurrence. And Terrence Crawford would definitely be going into the Boxing Hall of Fame as the first ballot Hall of Fame. But there's even more, ladies and gentlemen. There's even more history to be made if this fight comes off. If this fight happens, this will be the first fight in the history of boxing, because it's 4 belts, where you have two, not one, but two highly successful veteran undefeated in their prime fighters. The difference between Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas the Hitman Hearns was Thomas the Hitman Hearns was not a veteran of the sport, nor was Sugar Ray Leonard. I believe Sugar Ray Leonard was about 27. Thomas Hearns was about 24 or 23, something like that. Now, the point behind it is this. Errol Spence is a veteran of the sport right now. Terrence Crawford is a veteran of the sport. They have a lot in common with each other. Their attitude, their dogmatic nature, and the fact that both fighters are well schooled. This is a throwback fight. We haven't seen a throwback fight like this between two undefeated fighters in their primes or close to their primes, and two fighters who are able to do so many things in the ring. They're well schooled, well knowledgeable fighters who want to bang. We haven't seen that in a very long time. But like I said before, these are two veteran fighters. They've have way over 20 something fights, and they really have fought top level, top echelon fighters in their journey. Terrence Crawford has fought, I'm not too sure how many world champions he's fought. Let me see. There's Ricky Burns, there's Yorkis Gamboa, there's the African kid, I can't remember his name right now, there's Ray Beltran, there's the Victor Postol, there's who else? Jeff Horn, that's 6. Kell Brook, that's 7. Amir Khan, that's 8. Sean Porter, that's 9. So Terrence Crawford has faced 9 world champions. His best opponent to date, no knock on Terrence Crawford, is the one he could get, was Sean Porter. Now, with respect to Errol Spence, Errol Spence has faced, let's see how many world champions. He's faced Kell Brook. He's faced Mikey Garcia. He's faced Danny Garcia. He's faced, and he beat Dennis Ugas. He's also beaten Sean Porter. That's 5. Am I leaving out anybody? I may be leaving out someone. Okay. But as I said before, uh, I said Mikey Garcia. So about five world champions. Okay. Terrence Crawford's at 9. Errol Spence is for 5 world champions. Could be more, but I can't recall anybody else right now. The point is that they're both veterans of the sport. They faced multiple world champions. When Thomas Hearns faced Sugar Ray Leonard, he had only faced and beaten Pepino Cuevas. I think 2 world champions he had faced. One to win the title, and another who was a former world champion. I can't remember who it is. Sugar Ray Leonard had faced 2 world champions himself, Roberto Duran twice, and also I think it was 3. Oh, it could be 2. I can't remember. I think it was Roberto Duran. It was Wilfredo Benitez. I believe he faced one more, which was I think it was Kalule. I think it was Ayub Kalule at 154. I think so. I'm not sure. They faced 3 world champions, so they didn't really have a lot of experience facing world champions. They had enough, but they didn't have like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Okay. Errol Spence's competition was way better than Terrence Crawford's competition. I'll tell you why. When you look at Danny Garcia, who was the unified 140-pound champion, he was the man at 140 pounds. He moved up to 147, beat Robert Guerrero to become the WBC champion, beat by Keith Thurman. So he was a former world champion at 147. And in addition, he was also a long-reigning unified champion at 140. Okay. And the names on that guy's resume is ridiculous, particularly at 140. But at 147, he has some decent names as well. So Danny Garcia is a multiple-time world champion. I think 3-time world champion, something like that. Keith Thurman is a 2-time world champion, but Errol Spence didn't face Keith Thurman. He did face Kell Brook, who was once the #1 welterweight in the world. In fact, when Errol faced him, he was the #1 welterweight in the world, even though he had faced Triple G and got his eye orbital damage. And Kell was really at the top of his game at that time. And he also faced Mikey Garcia, who is a 4-divisional world champion, beating people like Adrian Broner, the who's who of the 130-pound division at the time. Moved up to lightweight, became lightweight champ, beating Zlatan. This guy moved all the way up anyway to welterweight to take on Errol Spence. Okay, pound for pound fight. And then on top of that, Errol Spence also faced Dennis Ugas and Sean Porter. But Dennis Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao. Okay, he also beat some other good fighters, but he became, he was ordained the WBA champion by beating Manny Pacquiao, tactical skill fighter, etc. So Terrence Crawford didn't really have those names on his resume. He had Amir Khan. Amir Khan wasn't in his prime or anywhere near his prime. Kell Brook was at the end of his game, but Kell Brook, I gotta say, Kell Brook still was good. He wasn't as good as when Errol Spence faced him, but he was good. He was good, It's actually beating Terrence Crawford for a minute there, pointing him and winning rounds. So I can't knock Kell Brook. But yes, Kell Brook was, he wasn't the Kell Brook that faced Errol Spence. Nonetheless, Terrence Crawford, his best win is Sean Porter. Errol Spence's best win would be, who would it be? I believe it would be Porter gave him the closest fight. But I don't think his best win was Sean Porter. I think his best win was Kell Brook? But Dennis Ugas was a great win. The way he destroyed Dennis Ugas. Let's see though. I think his best win to date would be I think it would be might be Sean Porter. Might be Sean Porter. Like Terrence Crawford said. Might be Sean Porter. Even though you could say that he looked most spectacular against Dennis Ugas and even against Kell Brook. I think his best win actually was against Kell Brook because he had to cross the seas, go into England, and then beat Kell Brook in his backyard. So I think his best win was Kell Brook when Kell Brook was the #1 welterweight in the world. Again, if you want to join this stream, chop it up with me. StreamYard link is right there. You can see it on the screen. You can also see it in the comment section, in the chat section. You can also donate to this channel via PayPal if you're not able to come onto the line. You can also make comments in the chat section if you so wish. So this is a very epic, historic occasion. Epic, historic occasion. Two veterans of the sport, still in their primes. Terrence Crawford still, you could say in his prime, 35 years old, about the same age, 36 or 35 years old. I'm not too sure which one, but he's about the same age as Usyk. All right, Alexander Usyk. So they're still in their prime. So when you look at this event, it's a tremendous event. Now, like I said before, this is one of those pay-per-views you want to pay for because it's not a pay-per-view that is in any way not going to give you the action you want, not going to give you also the technical skill and the craft that you want. This is going to be the highest level of boxing you're going to see, and you're going to see it in an action-packed way. It may start off with a simmer, but it's going to really heat up, and they're going to get to cooking. So you really want to see this fight, okay? You really want to get this fight. It's like historic. It's part of history. You want to be a part of history. Save up your money, save up your whatever, and make sure I order this fight online. I'm going to try to get another phone so that I can comment on the fight as the fight is going on for the benefit of those of you who want to hear what somebody has to say besides the commentators who may be commenting the fight. Porter might be commenting the fight. Who knows? But this is a fight you want to see. And like I said before, a lot of history here. Two southpaws facing each other. Not just two southpaws facing each other. One of them is a switch hitter. For undisputed. I mean, this is the fight for all the marbles. This is the fight for pride. This is the fight for everything. Okay, this is #1 pound for pound fighter comes out of this fight. So we're going to find out who is going to win this fight. All right. I don't know, so don't ask me because I don't know. I've been thinking about it over and over and over, and I just can't figure it out. This is something you just have to watch. This is one of those fights I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. People say, well, the injuries that Errol Spence had, detached retina, the accidents he's been in. Are you so sure that he's going to be 100%? Well, he showed in his fight against Dennis Ugas that didn't keep him back. Okay, he showed in his fight against Danny Garcia that the accident didn't keep him back. So Errol Spence has come back from some other things, again showing how powerful his mind is. So we can't use that as an excuse. For Terrence Crawford, you can't say he's too small because he's not. You can't say that Terrence Crawford, he can't. He was inactive too long. You can't say all of that. Or Errol Spence was inactive too long. You can't say all of that. You got to see this fight. This is a fight. I don't think there's any fight big like this fight, or ever will be for a while. Terrence Crawford says if he wins the fight, he's going to go on and face Jamel Charlo. Okay. He wants to be 3-time undisputed then. That would be historic because nobody's been 3-time undisputed in 4-belt. But if not, if Errol wins, then Errol's going to move up to 154 or 160. I think he's going to try and challenge Canelo. This is what we're hearing. And that's going to be another historic fight, a big money fight. These fights are all big money fights, by the way. I just wanted to say to people If this is what you want as a fight fan, and this is the best thing you could ever have, there's no fight bigger than this fight, no better fight than this fight, then please support it with your money. Show everyone that these are the kinds of fights you want, and the fighters will respond, and the boxing community will respond. This is a fight that, I mean, you can't miss with this fight. You can't. Okay? So that's what I got to say. Whoever wins this fight gets a lot of accolades, really goes down in history as a great fighter, etc. So there's a lot at stake here. And I do wish both fighters the best. I'm not going to pick a winner, so don't ask me to pick a winner because I don't know who's going to win. And I'm not going to try to boggle my head to figure out who's going to win. I'm not going to do all that. So 20 minutes in, or 21 minutes in, I just wanted to say I'm what you need. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget also that if you don't see the stream live, you just go to the description area and you can also donate to my channel. I would highly appreciate that because this is one of my streams of income. And I really enjoying sharing these things with you guys. And if you guys pay me to do it, I'll do it even more. You'll encourage me to do it even more and at a deeper level as well. I'll catch you guys later. I am what you need. Peace.